Hello guys, today we will talk about data exploration as part of first step. It is a first step in creating a machine learning model. So we're given a data, you would have to create a model, a predictive model out from the data. So the first and very important part is the data exploration. So it allows us to understand the data and perform pre-processing methods and cleansing of the data so before we can design the model. So in here we will use Jupyter Lab. It is an extension of Jupyter. So we will create a new notebook. So we'll we'll do a little bit of tutorial also on how to use this notebook. And so this is a new we have a cell here, and just for convenience we'll just put a title here. It's like data exploration. So this is just a text. It's a markdown, and then the next cell is a code. So you can write your code here in Python. So Python, um, Jupyter Python is running as a backend of this notebook, and so we can comment out just for also for uh, you know uh, to show how the comment in Python works. So commenting in Python, so we will import package. So we will import a Python package. In data science, there's a common package that is very easy to use once you get to know the basic functions, and it is a very user friendly. If you're familiar with NumPy, this package is built on top of NumPy that allows us to uh, to structure your data and perform transformation and basic transformation of the data easily. So we would import pandas as PD. If you haven't installed pandas in your Python, you can easily also install it, but it will not be covered in this tutorial. So now we have that package loaded. So we will load a data which is in the CSV file here. The file is called house.csv. So we'll instantiate an object, a data frame. We call it df. Then we read the CSV file. So we just pd.read.csv and the name of the file, which is house.csv. Then shift enter. Then now the data is loaded. How do we know? We want to see the structure of the data. How does the data looks like? So we would do basic checking of the data. We can do df.head, uh, open and close parentheses, and shift enter. Now it would show the first 5 rows of your data frame of your data or your data. It will show the columns as well, the name of the column and the data, the first five rows, and you'll see that there are 21 columns. So obviously you wouldn't see other columns here because it won't fit in our window. So we want to know about the columns itself, the information of the columns. How the data looks like in those columns. So we would do df info. It would show the basic or the information of the columns. So for example, in column ID, it is the it is well, we have 21,000 uh, rows, and it is in type, and the second is the date, which is an object. I'll go back to that later. And then we have float, and the rest are floats and ends. So obviously this column date here is not in datetime. We have, well, object in pandas is also called string, but it is in pandas it's object. uh, and obviously this is, we have to convert this column into a datetime format because this is in string. You can see here that in the column that it is in string, so with a format like year, column, day, then t as for time, and then hour, minute, and second. So we would have to convert this column into a datetime format. To do that, we have df date, which is the name of the column. Then the pandas has this built-in function to datetime, and then the name of the, again, the name of the column, which is the date, and we pass the parameter format, which allows us to tell the, basically tells the pandas that our data is in this format. We would type percent year, or percent caps y, percent small m, then percent d, small d, and then t, because here we have t here after date, and then percent hour, which is in capital, percent m, then percent s. There you notice the time formats here are in caps. So shift enter. Now you want to check df date, check the values, and you see that it's in the right format now. It is year, month, and day. You can see that the column name is date with a length 21,613, and now the date type here is in datetime format 64. In a second. And now the last thing I want to talk about is in data exploration we have to also look at, we have to check for missing values. So later on in during pre-processing, we have to treat the missing values, whether to drop them or perform some replaces them with values. Um, I will That will be covered in the next or the later tutorials. But for now, it is important to check if there are missing values. To do that, okay, let's have that missing check for missing values. Shift enter. And both there pandas has also a built-in function for that, which is null. So it's null open close parenthesis, and then you put the sum all the null values in the shift enter, and you see that our data is pretty clean, that it doesn't have any null values. So you see the columns here are all the columns have zero null values. So that's it for today. Later we'll talk more about um, uh, feature engineering, uh, extract or creating or designing feature out from our data. I believe that at this point the data is pretty clean and is really ready for the next step, which is feature engineering, which will be covered in the next tutorial. And I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check more about my other videos. And I hope to see you around next time. Thank you.